Yes, Adele?
So, Mr. Taylor, you talked about driver's license for undocumented workers, or for undocumented people, but what about, and I think this was what we were trying to get at before, women who have been on the run, let's say, from abuse cases, need emergency ID. Is there a mechanism for that?
Not specifically for that.
But can they get something like within a day, where they, you know, because some of these people are in home shelters and they're...
Yeah, so right now, we have the appointment system at DMV, but that is, we always have appointments available for emergencies. If you reach out to us and tell us, like, it's usually travel. Usually people just say, like, oh, wait, I'm getting on a plane in 3 days and I didn't realize I didn't have this. But we can get someone in and get them an ID the same day. It'll be a temporary one. But yes, another thing that we deal with sort of related to that is like sealing documents. There are a lot of cases where folks want their documents to be sealed so that people can't find them necessarily. Unfortunately, that has to go through the courts, so we work very closely with the court system and the various judges to make those transactions happen.
And sometimes women don't have their stuff, they don't have their ID to present to you. I mean, is there a plan for that, or some way that they can get ID without having ID?
I have a suggestion. That was actually my question. If you would listen to it. Would you consider using the DMV bus to go to the one domestic violence shelter in the county?
Absolutely.
On a regular basis, because we see women posting online all the time, and they always say, "Can someone go back and get my ID?" Well, it's a tool, right? And it keeps people from leaving. So I think it also, you said you go, you're on radio shows and go to Spanish-speaking markets. White women get abused. We get abused at just the same rate. So maybe the messaging's not getting everyone if it's only targeted to certain people. But if you can commit to maybe working with Family New Pulse to have set days for TV victims, I think it would be really impactful.
No, absolutely. And the hardest part about DMV is that we do not have discretion. Like when we go into the DMV system to get someone an ID, we need to scan certain things. We need to scan the birth certificate. We need to scan this. We can't print it without it. There's nothing that we can do at the local DMV to get around those requirements, unfortunately.
So basically, no. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's a terrible answer, but...
So you can't. Well, domestic violence victims get new social security numbers.
Yeah, I mean, if they have the documentation that like the system is asking for, they can absolutely get it. If they don't, there's no mechanism. There's certain, I shouldn't say there's no. It's depending on what documentation you do have. There's certain supervisory overrides, for instance. Like if they don't have their social security card, but they do have a utility bill, I can call the state and say, I can confirm this person is this person. But you need like 6 or 7 different things. And there's not supervisory overrides for certain things like proof of citizenship if they want a real ID is just like one small example. But this is another issue with folks coming out of prison that I'm working with the sheriff's office right now, because we don't in the clerk's office have any way, like we're not really a licensing agency, the state is, we're an agent of the state. So we don't have the discretion to do these things. But we're finding too with people coming right out of prison, they can't get jobs, they can't apply for colleges because they don't have IDs, and they don't have any of that paperwork either. So we're looking into and working with some other county clerks statewide to see if there is some sort of municipal ID that would be verifiable statewide or something that says at least you are who you are. It might not get you on an airplane, it might not legally allow you to drive, but that is a gap in the services that we provide, where right now we don't have something like that.
New York City has one of those. You don't have to show anything.
They do, and so does I think the city of Kingston has one too. There's no countywide one right now.
Colleen?
I guess also going along with what Katie and Adele had asked, if you have somebody coming from out of state in that situation, and that also goes like for Lyra too, like what would the procedure be? Like if you have a DV victim fleeing, from out of state, coming here because maybe they have family here or friends here, like what would you do in that situation to help them get ID, or, and then in your case, like to offer them some sort of protection for them and the children. Sorry, it's for both.
No, I think we would, I mean, first we were trying to get them the documents that they need. So often, most states do it the same way, and this is if someone showed up and didn't have their documentation, we can usually get their documentation. So your birth certificate is always going to be at the local town level where you were born. We can contact the town clerk, have them send us a certified copy and so on. We can contact the Social Security office, have them send us that. Like that's how you actually solve the problem. You just get them their documentation. But I think that's the only thing we could do at the clerk is get them their documentation or provide them contacts in law enforcement, because that's really what this issue is, even beyond not having identification. Yeah, that's tough.
Okay, last question, Susan.
Isn't there a way for, as part of an order of protection, and I'm not talking about people from other states at this point, but for the police to go either with an advocate and the woman back to her home and get her things, which would include her paperwork? Or I know it's very dangerous, and I know people who worked as advocates and were terrified to do that, but it's something.
That's my understanding.
Okay.
But the husband's not
It's there.
Right.
I know we want to wrap
Okay,
up, sorry.
Last
So,
one.
given the increasing importance of data security, how would you, as the county clerk, ensure the security of the data nowadays with everything changing?
Yeah, that's the toughest one. Luckily, most of what we deal with are public, and so they're not secured anyway. What we do is use a secure vendor for our sealed documents. They actually go through the New York State Office of Court Administration's system, NICEP, which all those documents are backed up at the state level, encrypted, and we keep a copy physically. Well, the server, we keep a physical server in a secure location.
To avoid forgeries or anything like that. I mean, if that would even
It's
be a
something
thing.
to avoid forgeries, but it's really to avoid a data breach.
Right.
This happened in Nassau County. Someone broke into the county clerk's office internal system and held all of the documents hostage and said, if you don't send us $4 million, you'll never get any of your documents again. Yeah, so that is.
Did they pay?
No, they did not pay.
Good.
They said keep them. They said we'll scan them all again.
Wow.
Don't worry about it. I talked to the Nassau County pretty extensively about it. Yeah, it is crazy.
Wow.
Thankfully, it hasn't happened to us, but we do have some plans in place if it did happen, because that is my #1 biggest fear. We still back things up on microfilm. We're the only county that does that too, for things that we definitely don't want to lose no matter what. We know that is a secure, stable things. We still don't know what happens to a JPEG after 100 years. I'm not confident that keeping digital objects.
I don't even know if it'll last 100 years.
Right. So it's something that keeps me up at night for sure.
Yeah.
We are working on it and considering it constantly.
All right, well,
Thanks.
thank you very much. And, really, it's just been so informative. Thank you for your opportunity. Our pleasure. And
Thank you.
we're going to be posting the video of it on our website, and we will also post it out to the different, social medias with the links. And very good. And if you don't mind, just another couple minutes. If people want to take pictures with you, we can move the chairs away and just stand against our new banner. I love it. Yeah, I really love the logo. It's so nice. Statue of Liberty.